because I need to make sure the sound is coming through. I swear this technical stuff will be the death of me. Can someone in the chat give me a signal that you can hear this? Can you hear what I'm saying? Please tell me you guys can hear this. I can't. All good? That's great. Is anyone having issues with the sound quality, or are we good to go? Because I invested in a nice little snazzy microphone here, so I'm glad that things are coming through, guys. I'm going to have my little face on the bottom right of the screen throughout, so it's good that you guys can see and hear me. Good. This is good news. I was a little concerned that technically this would be rather chaotic, but so far so good. What's up, Lo? What's up, Jake, Julieta, Claudia, Tarek, Sarah? Really good to see you guys. Ruby, Kerry. Yeah, awesome to see you guys. We're going to get cracking fairly soon. Goshia, Susanna, Aaron, good to see you, man. Kerry the Mac. It's all going down. So get comfortable, guys. It's going to be a little over an hour, I'm estimating, but there's going to be a ton of value crammed into this. Hey, Nicholas. Awesome to see you all here. I'm hoping that my last minute messages are getting through to people so that people start filtering in. Hey, Esther. Sarah, I don't know if I've forgotten anyone. I'm sorry, but I'm going to try my best as we go to kind of keep an eye on the comments. It's going to be a bit tricky because I've got my notes in front of me and I want to make sure that we do this in good time. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. Yes. Oh, this is exciting. So it's pouring down with rain here in Poland. And starting to look a bit autumnal. 5:58. So we've got a couple of minutes until I'm going to go straight in. So in a moment, I'm going to be like just a torrent of stuff. So not too much interaction. I'll try my best, as I said, but I'm going to be going straight into the slides. Hey, Thomas. Good to see you, man. Hey, Gosha again. I'm going to go straight into the slides. There's a lot to cover. And yeah, I'm excited. Going to give us a couple more minutes for any wee stragglers. Hey, Hampus. Hey, Huang Mai from Vietnam. Great to see you, man. Got the obligatory water. What's up, Tom? Hey, Sharky, also known as Elaine, also in a rainy part of the world. Man, I'm so happy that this is actually just so far working out. Hey, Hanny. Man, technology really surprises me sometimes. It's like, this is amazing how this happens. Hey, Laura. Right, we're going to jump in a bit. I did say 6, and it's like a minute to 6 Central European time. Hey, Catherine. Matt. Hola. What is going on, Jennifer C? Hey, Tiki. So let me get some bit more of us. I know that you guys have been pretty good with this, but a sense of where you guys are based at the moment. What's going on, Roger? I know Roger's in South Africa. This is as expected, a pretty international crowd here. Pensacola, Florida. Nice one, JP. Hey, Matt. I've already said Matt. Hello to Matt. Nagore, hi. Hey, Matt. See you again. Hey, April. From Richmond, Virginia. Berna is indeed in South Africa. Cool. Right, we're about to jump in, guys. I'm not going to be able to get too much of a chance to say hello to too many more of you, but it's awesome to see you guys flowing in. Anna, what's up? Yeah, keep sharing where you guys are based. Obviously, it's of interest to those who are also joining you guys. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the 3 vital steps to creating ideal clients through online networking mastery without being salesy or manipulative. Obviously, a bit of a mouthful there, but something very, very useful and very helpful. Thank you guys for showing up live with me today. You made the right move. Hey, Matt. I'm very excited to share with you guys exactly how I was able to move from lost and confused in my business to knowing with certainty how to create clients, grow my network, and expand my income. So you guys have been great at sharing where you guys are based at the moment. I'd also love to get a sense of where you guys currently are in your career-wise. So what do you guys do? What are your professions? What is your job description? And what are your ambitions as well? So maybe you're an aspiring something or other. You're trying to create something. Hey, Fire, Scott Joyce, Aaron, Karia. And yeah, just get me a sense, and everyone else in the group, a sense of what you guys are up to. What are you working on? What's your business? So a little bit more about me. Obviously, I've started the class. This is it. We're doing this. A little bit more about me. I'm a business coach, a teacher, writer, illustrator from London in the UK, working now predominantly as a coach, helping freelancers, creatives, coaches, and entrepreneurs succeed in their lives and businesses. Currently in Krakow, Poland. And as a freelance remote worker, I tend to jump around from city to city around the world, enjoying the perks of this kind of flexibility in what I do, which is all good and dandy. Hey guys, flowing in, good to see you guys. Okay, animator, illustrator, web designers, sculptors, freelancers in general, graphic designers, UI, UX directors, UX designers. This is really interesting. Illustrator. I imagine a lot of illustrators, because I know that a lot of those illustrators follow my stuff. Graphic designer, aspiring freelance surface pattern designer, aspiring artist, illustrator. Artist, illustrator, lots of illustrators, lots of artists. Graphic designer. Yeah, this is cool. Alrighty, so in the next 50 minutes, 50 or so, you guys are going to learn my exact strategy for building what I believe is the most overlooked and ignored aspect of succeeding in a business. And that is your network of valuable people around you who will pay you as clients for your skills. And not only that, this network, or tribe as I like to call it, will also contain people who will lift you up in life and business in other ways, as we'll discuss. We'll go into how you can do this to grow your business and to do it in a way that isn't weird or salesy or manipulative, but rather to do it in a way that feels empowering, enjoyable, and even fun. It's true, guys, this stuff can be fun. So first of all, I'd like to share with you in this class the process behind identifying the people you ideally want to work with. And it's vital that you have a clear idea of who you will be serving with your products and services. Next, we will talk about how to craft a product or service that aligns with these ideal prospects and how to do this in a way that delights and astonishes them. In a crowded world, we absolutely need to be delighting people, guys. So tell their friends, so they tell their friends and colleagues about us. That's what we want. The third part of the class will be sharing my strategy for connecting with these ideal clients and other key people and how to turn them into paying clients. so that you have a fulfilling business working with people who inspire you and pay you well for what you do. Towards the end of the class, I'm going to be offering those of you here who are live a special discount on a huge opportunity, and I will be opening up the floor for questions that you guys can ask me in real time via the chat. So feel free to share in the chat as we go along as well. But I can't guarantee I can sort of keep an eye on the chat flowing through too well, but I'll try my best. So, oh yeah, another thing, don't forget this. At the end of the class, I'm going to be giving away a secret link where you guys can download a transcript of everything that I'm going to share with you today. So you can refer to it again and again, forever. And it's going to also contain extra tips and more ideas around places to find ideal clients and interact with them. So tons of extra content. And you have to be watching live in order to get this. So stick around. I promise it will be worth your time, guys. So if you take the steps I'm about to share and act on them, you can expect to move from the tough reality of having to accept few or poor quality clients, feeling confused and out of control of your business, to the confidence that comes from knowing how to deliberately and assertively go out, find and create ideal clients. So overall, you'll enjoy a refreshed sense of not only knowing how to create clients and a robust and healthy network of connections, but you'll enjoy the thrill of being someone who can consistently delight those you work with. So before we get into the meat of the class, guys, and by the way, is everyone listening? Everyone can hear me okay? Everyone can see me, right? Before we get into this, I'd like to have your full attention. So you want to absorb the points I'm about to share as best as possible, and I don't want you to miss a single step. So do ensure you close all distractions, notifications, close Facebook, unless you're watching this through Facebook, close your email, social media, switch off, silence those phones. Just ensure there is silence around you and you can't be disturbed as much as possible. Also, do grab a pen and paper if you haven't already, so you can take some notes. So why should you listen to me and what I have to say? Who am I to tell you all this? Okay, so I built a global design and illustration business from scratch, entirely self-taught in my early 20s, working with clients like Mars, Wired Magazine, the BBC, Saatchi & Saatchi, Google, Two Dots Games, Secret Cinema, and more. Not to toot my own horn or anything. I've also built other successful projects, including a productivity planner book, which sold out, as well as a thriving business and mindset coaching business where I've worked with and learned from hundreds of clients in the creative, freelancing, and entrepreneurial sectors. I've spoken about what I learned growing my own business and marketing it at events, podcasts, and conferences around the world. And I've written over 5 books on creating clients, business, and overcoming blocks to succeeding. And my writing has gathered tens of thousands of readers online. I'm now able to travel the world teaching, coaching, and writing, making a good living out of it, which is pretty awesome. Kids locked in their room, Laura, love it. Right. So imagine a life where you confidently know how to create friendships with people who pay you well for the work you do. How does your world look different when you take responsibility for your core tribe of people and you know how to develop connections that lead to working with people who inspire you? Imagine what this sense of clarity and confidence feels like. Thanks, Julieta. Awesome, awesome. So I can assure you, I was not always good at this. In fact, for many years, as I was starting my illustration business, I was clueless about marketing myself, be seen and have people pay me for my work with any form of consistency beyond someone randomly approaching me. Everything in my business was reactive. I would hope and wait for jobs to show up. I would procrastinate or work on art, even when I hadn't seen income in weeks. Some months would go by with no money coming in, and I'd just feel so lost, so lethargic. Other months I might see a success here and there and have a client approach me either directly or through my illustration agent. My wins mostly seemed to be by accident. There was nothing deliberate about what I did in my business. There was no sense of control or ownership. Even with an agent, this didn't guarantee anything. If anything, having an agent who occasionally helped to bring in a few clients a year made me even more reckless, right? Because I was waiting for someone else to save me. It can be great when a client project is happening and it feels like nothing can go wrong, until that project ends and you find yourself with no prospects, having done very little, if anything, to create opportunities. The other thing I found difficult in the early days was because I knew next to nothing about creating clients, I was left to pick up the scraps of poor quality clients who would approach me via, for example, a portfolio site, offering stupidly low rates for a complicated and unending project. Anyone relate with that? Simon Sturge. So that left me frequently drained and annoyed. And I knew I needed to seize control in my business. I knew that being a business owner meant more than worrying about money and dealing with poor, unreasonable clients 80% of the time. So if you're struggling at the moment, I know what it's like. It can be frustrating and tiresome. And boss. Oops, I think I might have. Did I lose you guys? Are we all good? I lost connection there for a sec. You still here, yeah? Can you give me a yes if I'm still running here, if I'm still coming through? Good there, yeah? Okay, cool. Making art, being creative, doing the fun stuff, and having that sense of freedom when you're your own boss is really good. It's great. But it's really crap to... Hang on, a few of you are not... Okay, a little bit of a glitch. But it really sucks to kind of have that background anxiety, right? That always accompanies a lack of clarity around creating not just clients, but clients you actually want to work with who respect what you do. So it took me a lot of struggle, heartbreak, and moments when I was this close to quitting and getting a real job to finally start making better decisions in my business. One of the big lessons for me was the need to bring in cash flow. It's crazy looking back how easy it is to overlook the simple fundamental need for businesses to make money. Now, if you do what you do, or you have aspirations to do something for money, for a living, to support yourself and your families, whether it be design, making and selling art, coding or coaching, we need to prioritize connecting with the people who are willing and able to pay us for what we do and making money consistently. So without consistent money, you will have no business. And where does that money come from? Paying clients and paying customers. So without regular cash coming in, you will not last long. And this is tragic because so many people who have something brilliant to bring to the world, right, a talent that brings life and color and beauty to the people that need it, are held back. You aren't able to continue creating and bringing your value. You aren't able to make your art to its fullest depth and beauty because you aren't fully there. You are in your head, worried about money. And so you start looking for alternatives, right? Maybe there are openings at that job I saw in the paper. Maybe I can beg my boss to rehire me. Maybe I need to rake leaves. And do that when you could be running a thriving business, working with clients and buyers you love. No thanks. This isn't what I wanted either. So what's the solution? I didn't come here to lump problems on everyone. Having experienced the worry and frustration of limited cash flow and not knowing how to create more of it, I'd finally had enough. Over the years, I've put everything into learning about the process of creating clients and building a thriving network of people around me to ensure my projects, my art, and my business succeeded. Gotcha, Fire Station. Know that feeling. One of the biggest lessons I learned was creating a thriving business did not require reinventing the wheel. So by trial and error, I found the solution in a form of marketing that has existed for thousands, if not millions of years. So many gurus want us to set up complicated systems using the latest social media and software technologies. Feeling a little bit sheepish here because I've done this on a webinar, but you know what I mean. Yes, this stuff can be helpful, but I found I could have everything I needed by paying attention to an area of life and business that most people who are too busy desperately trying to, promote themselves on social media overlook entirely. And that thing is building your tribe, your network. This is a tribe of people, of friends and professional friendships connected to you who will pay you well for your skills, open you up to new audiences, partner with you, mentor you, coach you, and overall bring you opportunities to expand personally and in business. The key to all this is in doing what so few of us do, and that is taking the active lead of your network and nurturing and serving those one-to-one connections. When there is a relationship, when there's trust, right? When people know you, when people feel emotionally connected to you, that is when things like sales happen. Sales, deals, being hired, all that kind of stuff. Whenever I've won a client job, it's either because the agent who helped me get it had developed trust over time with that client, or it's because someone has referred me, thus promoting trust in the client, or it is after a period of getting to know someone that an emotional connection has developed and that person has taken things to the inevitable next step of hiring me. And you can probably think back of many examples where you've developed a relationship with someone over a time period and good things have come out of that relationship. People are much more likely to buy from people they know and trust. I'm going to say that again. People are much more likely to buy from people they know and trust. As such, to create more clients and sell more of our products and our art, we need more people in our lives we know and trust us. Does that make sense? There are many ways to connect with people so that they develop a trust and connection with you over time. I, for example, have an email newsletter, and I do use social media to share my content. I share podcasts and videos, and this is all helpful. And many people put all this effort into online content like this, but they don't tend to be what I believe is the absolute fundamental piece of their business success, their close one-to-one network. Right? Absolutely, says Kitsia. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Most of us live reactively, right, in our businesses, even our lives. We want things to come to us, and we hope and we pray and we cross our fingers waiting for opportunities to come along, and generally things they don't work that way. We need to be proactive. Yes, even if we believe marketing and anything other than our craft is beneath us. Yes, even if we're introverted, shy, and hate the idea of marketing and selling. If I wanted to bring my art and my support to the world and be paid for it, I realized I needed to be open to the idea that developing relationships with people was simply a part of my life and work. Lots of people saying yes in the comments. When you continually give and serve and support this group, this tribe, over time, a funny thing happens. Offers and opportunities and jobs come back to you. People become more receptive and interested in meeting you and saying yes to you. Now, I'm guessing for many of you, this isn't the first time you've followed a class or invested in some guidance on growing your network, marketing yourself, or creating clients, right? If you've been worried that you can't succeed with networking or selling, the dodgy selling word, I want to put those fears to rest. You can make this work. You just need the right person to explain it to you. Now, I was doubtful. I thought for the longest time that I couldn't do any of this. And now it forms a part of my life that takes a few minutes a day, and I no longer see it as work. I look forward to it. I really do. This network doesn't need to be massive either, guys. It's easy to be tempted into thinking that we need to have thousands of connections and keep them all in the loop 24/7 to find any success with it. Because it looks like so much work to create and maintain all these connections, and we don't know the first thing to say to any of these people, where to find them and where to start, we don't do anything at all. What I've seen, and particularly in this social media, short attention span, virtual world we live in, people are looking for genuine connections with other people more than ever. In a recent survey by OnePoll, It states that the average American adult hasn't made a new friend in 5 years. Believe it or not, there is tremendous opportunity in being an active participant in developing real, healthy, and giving relationships with people. Those people who need connection more than ever. Anyone else feeling that vibe of needing to connect, especially in this time, this interesting time we find ourselves in? So, and this is really at the core of what we're doing. The core of what I'm teaching is we're creating friendships. Friendship, it doesn't have to be non-professional to be a friendship, right? And most people are in such a hurry to find success. They look for the quick fix in some trick or hack, or if they're looking to build connections with people, they're rushed and they rarely focus on service. Most people are focused on what they can get out of a relationship as opposed to what they can give. And it's fair enough. You know, we're trying to make things work for ourselves. We're trying to kind of get results quickly, right? So we need to be willing to give. We need to be willing to think in terms of helping others, to think in terms of something greater than ourselves. So how do we create these connections, these clients, and grow this network of valuable people? What we want is a streamlined process of identifying the people we want in our lives, then crafting a product or service for them that delights the heck out of them. And we want to be clear on how to reach these people, develop a relationship with them, and move those connections to clients, contracts, and partnerships. So for those of you who are squirming now, squirming at the idea of putting all this time and energy into growing your connections and your business, I get it. Yes, this will potentially require taking more action than you are currently taking. But guys, listen, what is worse? Taking more action that allows you to fulfill your purpose of building a thriving business, or having to quit, never having the time, energy, or financial support to make your dreams real. I can assure you, including this strategy in your life and taking action every day will not only turn your business around, but it will instill a sense of confidence in you that will seep into all areas of your life. There is nothing more vital than being able to develop positive relationships with people. Thanks, Sean. So let's first look at the first vital step in this process. Identifying your ideal clients. One of the biggest reasons I felt so lost in my business in the early days was because I had a very muddy idea of who my ideal clients were. With very little sense of who I wanted to reach out to, everything was left to chance. It was all kind of like, let's just see what happens. Let's assume that things are going to happen this way. And so I created work for anyone and everyone's grandma. And, you know, this was the message I was giving off to the world, and the world responded in an equally muddy fashion. i.e., I'd get few clients, and the few I did have were lower quality, low paying, and not inspiring. Life is short, guys. We can't be dealing with uninspiring clients. So being clear on your ideal client helps you in the following ways. It helps you know what you need to do to truly serve them in a way that solves their most pressing needs and problems. What is their pain and how can you solve it? This is vital for success in whatever you do, really. But, you know, even if you paint pictures, you need to know how you are solving their problem. If you don't know what your ideal client looks like, you can't possibly know how to best help them. Am I talking sense? Can I get some yeses in the comments? The second reason being clear on your ideal client is so powerful is that it helps your potential clients themselves. If you present yourself and your personal brand in a way that's not clear, they're going to be confused as to who you are and how you can help them, right? So if your brand and your presentation verbally makes it clear the kinds of clients you work with, then anyone who approaches you and sees that you explicitly help people like them, they're going to get a much better sense that you are a great fit for them because your services are directed straight towards them, right? Nice to see some yeses in the comments, guys. Awesome. Even if you make it clear that you work for a certain type of client, for example, technology startups in my case, when I was doing illustrations more frequently, and you display that on your website, those who are not in that market will also find you more attractive and more credible. and may even approach you to help. So people in different industries will see that you're a specialist, and even if they're not directly aligned with you, they're still going to be interested because they see you as a pro. So it's in your best interest to be explicit with who you're aiming your product towards. Alrighty. Knowing who your ideal clients are will help it make it clear for where you need to go to find these people. So it helps you determine in which places these ideal people tend to hang out and congregate, so you can more proactively and deliberately go to where they are and start engaging with them in ways I'll discuss later. So for example, when you know that your ideal clients are design and art directors working for London-based creative agencies, you'll know what to search for on LinkedIn, or you'll know what conferences or groups these kinds of people are likely to participate in on Facebook, and you'll know how to recognize these people on Instagram, and so on. Wherever they hang out, helps to just have that direction. And finally, knowing who your ideal clients are and how to connect with them will ensure that your business is energizing for you. This is so key. Like, a lot of this is to do with energy. Like, if you're just feeling flat, of course you're not going to want to take action. So you want to focus on people who inspire you, who align with your values and your life purpose. You want to be working with people who lift you up and bring you energy. You will want to focus on the kinds of clients who will pay you well for your skills. When you are excited about your clients and your potential clients, you will do a much better job serving them when you come to an agreement to work with someone. But you'll also be energized to go out, find them, and engage with them. So finding clients with a decent budget who can pay you well for your work is important if you're doing this to make a good living. This means being aware of various indicators that might suggest a higher budget, including whether they run their own small solo business, or if it's a bigger brand, for example, if they're an agency or a corporation. These are all indicators that would suggest, before you've even approached them, whether they have the budget that matches up with your kind of ideal income. Other things include how many clients they have recently worked with themselves. That'll give a good indication of how much they've got. Their industry and their likely salary, their likely income, and so on. The more impactful and unique your own product and service is, the easier it's going to be for you to stand out and attract those higher paying clients. Am I talking sense? One of the best ways to create clarity around your ideal client then is by drawing up a profile of who they are in detail. You might have come across one of these before. The more detail, the better. Some people call this profile a client avatar. And here are some questions to ask when you find some time after this class to help you define this person. We want to create a profile that creates as much detail on who this is. And these are just a handful of some of the questions you can ask to create clarity for you, to know what's important for you, and then to align those ideas with the profile. So you can actually be more deliberate and you can actually create this client. It's not about being reactive anymore. It's about creating clients. This is why I named this seminar about creating clients. Who would I love to work with? What are my main missions and goals? What are my income goals? And what clients are more likely to help me reach these targets? What is their estimated minimum yearly salary? If I was sitting on my this is a big one. If I was sitting on my deathbed, who are the people I'd be most proud to have served or added value to in my lifetime? I mean, that's a big one. Sort of putting yourself in the shoes of future you, looking back over a life well lived. Who are those people that you would have loved to have worked with? What's their job description? What are their hobbies? What do they need? Where do they hang out in real life or online? What keeps them up at night? Buyer persona, exactly. What makes them wake up in a cold sweat? What are their values? Where in the world are they based? What might they need to know that I can help inform them with? Knowing all this, it becomes a lot easier, guys, to know how to serve them in a way that knocks their socks off. We'll discuss this next. And as a note, don't feel that if you identify an ideal client, you must work with these people for the rest of your life. You simply need to make a decision that will guide your actions for the next phase of your career. So it's just creating a torchlight into the dark so you can just see where you're going. What's key is you have direction. I know that there are some questions coming through, but as I'm sticking to a rather tight deadline, I'm going to be responding to those questions towards the end of the class. So be patient, but other people, I suppose, can jump in as well. So crafting your ideal client is the first piece of the puzzle. Next up, craft a delightful product. What a lovely word, delightful. We've now begun to flesh out some detail around who our potential ideal clients and customers are. And don't worry if you aren't already immediately clear on this, because a lot of this understanding will come through talking with people in the real world instead of trying to figure it all out in advance. Direct experience also helps. So if you've already worked with a range of clients, you will have a clearer idea of who you enjoy working with and who you don't. My understanding around the kinds of clients I love to work with as a coach have come in a large part out of having had many conversations with people and asking questions to get a sense for who they are, what their budgets are like, and how I can best help them. I see myself as a coach, but I also see myself as an anthropologist. I need to take an interest in people. We need to take an interest, a real interest in other people. And as we're about to learn, it's vital that we believe deeply in the value of our products and services. One of the most common things I've seen holding me back, as well as hundreds of people I've spoken with over the years, is doubt. Can anyone relate to doubt? Feelings of self-doubt. In other words, we aren't fully on board with knowing why and how what we can provide will truly benefit someone else, especially our ideal client. Not the only one, Tiki. If we can't sell ourselves on our products, how can we possibly persuade others, right? How can we feel motivated to get our work in front of other people if we're not sold on that work? So this really needs to be drilled in through continual self-reminders, and that's what I do. You know, I'm like every day it feels like I'm starting fresh. You know, I have to sit down and brainstorm with a pen and paper. This is why I'm valuable. This is why the world needs me. This is how I'm contributing. This is what instills this energy I'm talking to you guys about. And it's so important. So I don't always sense my value, and I often need to think about what I do that's important to people. And when we know who and how we can truly help, we will be so much more motivated to get ourselves out there and create connections with people we know will be helped. The reason I go into such depth even before talking about connecting with anyone is because most of it's to do with mindset. Most of it's to do with how you view yourself in the context of everyone else in this rat race, right? That you want to feel good about what you do. You want to feel energized. You want to have that direction. So if this requires tightening up your skill or style for a few hundred more hours, great. Now you have more of an excuse to do more of the work you love, right? A lot of your sense of value can come through simply writing a list, as I mentioned, of all the ways your craft is valuable and needed. I mean, just that alone is going to be powerful. This means not only a commitment to helping others, but to truly astonishing your prospects, connections, and clients. You must find a way to delight your ideal clients. Why? First of all, you will be driven to be more proactive in your marketing and connecting. I know marketing is an ugly, scary word, but ultimately, as I said before, it's just about getting your talent in front of people who stand to want it and stand to benefit from it, and making friendships with those people. This is what it's all about. That's as far as this marketing needs to go, right? As I said, we're not reinventing the wheel. So you'll be more proactive. You will quickly gain an unfair advantage in a sea of average freelancers and artists. Your clients are going to rave about you and tell others about how you helped them through word of mouth, doing a lot of the connection and referral building for you. So a lot of other people, if you delight them enough, you're not even going to have to do half the marketing because others are doing it for you. You will more clearly and quickly see how you yourself are valuable, so that serving people moves from being a means to an end to a joy in itself. So the next step in the process of creating clients is to be clear on how you will astonish your clients. This means not only honing a distinct skill and craft, finding a clear specialism that stands out, but putting attention on over-delivering as a service provider outside of the craft itself. So there's the art, but there's also the stuff around it. It's the talking and the communication and the customer service. And I know I need to be committed to service in how I communicate, the level of interest I show in others, and my willingness to give above and beyond what is expected of me. This is now always on my mind when I interact with people. I'm always thinking about how I can over-deliver. And you must be driven to providing excellence if you can in all areas of your business. This is such a key component. And it was this commitment to being remarkable and providing superior service that turned so much around for me in my business. It really shifts your whole kind of demeanor, changes when you start committing to excellence. And it gets noticed. You'll be more memorable for those who you work with and also those you interact with in your network, even before making the sale. Being able to delight your ideal clients inevitably has a lot to do with who you've identified as ideal clients in the first place. So the work you did to clear this up in the previous step is vital, because now you have more clarity on how you can truly serve that person when you look back over that avatar that we created. In my case, as an illustrator, when I knew that my ideal clients were founders and marketers in funded tech startups, I knew that I needed to talk with those kinds of people more. And I knew with more confidence what kind of designs these people were looking for based on my own research, and I allowed my portfolio and my brand to evolve in the direction of what these kinds of people and companies needed. This also meant that people from other industries were drawn to my work because they could see my dedication, a clear design style, and refinement in my focus. And I gave off a sense of focused professionalism, I hope, as part of my brand. So in your own time, you'll find it helpful to brainstorm ways that you can tighten up your service and product so that you delight your ideal clients and be an obvious fit for them. How can you create an astonishing experience for your client? This is more of a rhetorical question for you guys, because everyone's in a different business and everyone does things differently, and there's no like hard and fast rule on how to astonish clients. You've got to be creative, but really think about how, what you can do that few others in your industry, for example, are doing that would set you apart. Consider your unique strengths, interests, your talents, and how could even create some kind of a hybrid of several skills that would set you apart and delight your customers. This is where you can really start to create that unique selling point. So as an example, I worked with someone who was a web developer and also had a passion for charitable causes. So he decided to focus on helping clients in the charitable sector with their web development projects as a means to use his talents and combine it with an area he was passionate about. If you're listening, Chris, this is for you. This enabled him to bring more energy to the work because he genuinely cared to be working with those kinds of organizations, which meant his clients benefited from his enthusiasm, right? So what can you do that others won't do? What can you do that others won't do? One of the things I like to do for the people in my network is to send them links to things I know that they might find useful, or I may link up two people to get to know each other. And I do all this just, without expecting anything in return, but I do it to continue to be giving, to continually be the leader in my focused tribe. I might send one of my books to a potential client if they show interest in that topic, for example. It's about being creative, as I say. There's no formula to delighting your clients, but this is how this can be fun. You've got to be outstanding, really. And by committing to outstanding, far from being tiresome, because it sounds like work, it's going to energize you. I guarantee it. And this applies to your style, to your mastery in your craft and your work, but also in just how you bring yourself to the table, how you interact with people, how you bring positivity when there might not be positivity around you. You've got to lift it up. As we'll see in the next step, a lot of this service will be wrapped up into the network building activities themselves. So we're into the third part of this class. Hope you guys are hanging in there, doing okay. Looks like you guys are interacting with each other a little bit, which is great to see. Third part, connecting and closing. So we've now, yes, Lindsay, being a human, exactly. We've now talked about identifying our ideal clients and crafting a service that astonishes them. Now, I know that it sounds kind of obvious, right? Like, so, hang on a sec, I've just sat through a 30-minute class on stuff that I kind of knew, but I need to drill this in here because it complements the piece I'm about to share so importantly. It's so vital to know your client, and it's so easy to bypass that. You can forget it over a night. You want to continually be returning to, okay, who am I focused on? Where are they? How can I help them? And then what can I do to really knock their socks off? This is what's going to make your business explode. So we've talked now about, as I say, identifying ideal clients, crafting a service that astonishes them. By having these two lined up, you will be in a much better position to start taking actions and to develop your connections and create these paying clients. The next thing we want to do, guys, is to build or enhance the network of people we have connected to us. Now, you can either think of networking as a complete nightmare, or you can think of it in a different light. Having people connected to you who support you, who lift you up, who pay you, who pay for your products, who mentor you. You can see that in a really positive light. And it's a really nice idea when you can start seeing your network in terms of a two-way flow, where you're supporting them, they're supporting you, and it's a sort of symbiotic relationship. The success of our business and our ability to make an impact on the world depends directly on the quality of the connections we have with relevant people. If you agree with that, say AYE, the Scottish way, in the comments. Now, I call this core network your tribe. For those of you who read some of my previous posts and my books, you will be familiar with this idea, and I've labeled it in different ways over the years, including your value network and your 150 list. And as I mentioned earlier, in order to create agreements and ultimately sales with people, we need to develop trust with them over time. It very rarely works that someone approaches us for the first time and wants to work with us. I wish it did. I wish that I could, send a tweet out on Twitter, right, and close my eyes and cross my fingers and say, please work with me, and have a complete stranger who's an ideal client come through the Twitterverse and come to the rescue and give me work. You gotta build trust with people over time. There's lots of eyes in the comments. Awesome. You gotta build that trust, and it's going to take a little bit of time. We need to be developing friendships with people over time so that eventually some of them turn into paying projects. So for those of you who are worried at this point that this is a waste of time, and how can you possibly make money fast when this all takes time? And yes, it will take time in many cases, but there are also many opportunities hiding away in the relationships you currently have that could very likely produce clients and opportunities for you sooner rather than later. I really mean that. If you look around at who's hiding away, who is connected to you right now, who is already a warm connection, who's already spoken to you online, you'll find there's an unbelievable amount of people who could create work for you or find you someone who can also create work for you. So you might be surprised at how much you've already got going for you guys. So at its core, your tribe is a group of about 100 people or more that you monitor and engage with through a spreadsheet. It could be a contact book or a CRM, a customer relationship management tool. You are literally putting the names, contacts, and other details of key people down on paper so you can see that list, direct your attention to it, and monitor it over time. This was another major lesson for me in business. What I put my attention on improved. What I put my attention on expanded. And if we're not putting our attention on our networks, that stuff's going to shrivel up and die, folks. What we monitor is going to grow and flourish, and this includes our contact list. So I could see every day what was important to me, and I had a greater sense of control over how I would ensure that group of people would receive my caring attention over time. And it becomes fun, this stuff. It really does. Most of us never take a proactive approach in assigning ourselves as the leader and caretaker of the people in our lives, beyond family and a few friends. Most of us allow relationships to peter out as well. The network we'll be building ensures we stay in the lives and minds of a range of individuals without dropping out too soon. We got to hang in there. We got to give these relationships a chance. By regularly touching in, connecting with the same few people, we start to see these relationships bear fruit. And I'm sure you've seen this time and time again. And it's amazing how easy it is to forget about it. You build a friendship, and it goes on for a while, and you keep in touch, and amazing things come out of it. Jobs, experiences, trips. So this medium-sized network can contain any of the following people. Past clients, current and potential clients, customers, mentors, others who've been where you want to be and you want to talk to them, collaborators, joint venture partners, coaches, teachers, influencers, much, much more. As you can see, these guys will support us in many ways, not just in directly working with us as clients. So this is about nurturing a group who will support your goals and overall life vision as well. So this is not just about clients, guys. This is about, what are my goals? Who do I need in my world to help me? So if, for example, in addition to wanting to add more clients to my coaching business as my goal, for example, I also want to write and publish a book. I'd want some people in the publishing world, or people who are connected to those in the publishing world, to be part of my list. So the first thing I do to start building out this network is by creating a place I can put all the names of the people on my list. I use a spreadsheet, really simple, in Google Spreadsheets, and I'm going to include this link for you in the secret link that I'm going to be sharing at the end of this live class to live attendees. So I use a spreadsheet. I'm going to share the template with you, and I split out the lists into a group of 50 initially. So this is sort of higher priority, is for the 50. The next sheet is for another 100 people, and then I have another bigger sheet inside the spreadsheet for 350 people. These are fairly arbitrary numbers, and you can create these lists as you like, whatever suits you. So everyone in the first 150 are people who have engaged with me in some way in the past. So they are what you would describe as warm connections. There is already rapport, there's a friendliness, there's some trust there in those relationships. And you might be surprised at how many people you already have connected to you in various ways who you can already count as warm connections. So you can already start populating this list with people. Beyond this, if you want new people in your tribe, which is obviously what this is about, we're talking about creating ideal dream clients, you want to be developing these warm connections with people. And you will need to first move them from being a stranger to being a warm connection. We'll talk a bit more about that in a sec. So there are many ways to, so this is now moving away from people we already know into complete strangers, and bringing amazing people into our lives that we want to work with and want to partner with. So there are many ways that we can turn a stranger into a warm connection. Here are a few. I list much more of these in the bonus link that I'm going to be sharing as well. You can share a free book online targeted at your ideal clients. Don't get worried. I mean, you obviously choose whatever suits you the best, and you'll be able to know what works by experimentation and stuff. So meeting people at conferences and grabbing their details, that's a way to turn a stranger into a lead. If you get someone's business card, they're a warm connection, and you can then add them to that list. You can write emails directly to people. You can Instagram DMs to ideal clients, asking questions, pitching yourself as a researcher. You can run a free online class and share the link with ideal clients. So something like this, you could run a live class and direct it towards people that you want to work with. You can ask to be interviewed on your podcast, or you can interview people for your own podcast. And those who respond can be counted as warm connections. You're being delivered a new warm connection that you can then add to your list, so you can put your attention on it. And so many of us, we meet people out in the world and we just let those relationships die out, and we never know what could have come from them. So we want to be active in not only working with those who already know us, and we can kind of make those relationships fruitful, but we also want to go out and create new relationships depending on what our goals are and depending on what kinds of clients we want to bring into our business. You can also write a blog and engage those who comment. Those who follow you on social media can be considered warmer connections. Not always the warmest, but they can be considered people you add to your 150 list, especially if they reply to you when you communicate with them. Thanks for being patient, guys. I know that we're kind of moving rapidly into the hour here. Hold on tight. I'm going to be giving you guys a few awesome little bonuses at the end. I'm nearly finished, and yeah, stay posted. So these are the warm connections that you will then add to your list of 150. And of course, you can make the list longer. The list of 350 is what I use as a kind of holding space for connections who are not warm. So if I have like a list of people that I want to start bringing into my world and I'm interested in working with them, I'd add them to that 350 list just to give a little bit of space to work with. But it can also be used for warm leads who have spilled out of the 150 list as well. So it really depends on how many clients you're looking for in your business. But you may find that having up to 150 people that you consistently connect with and bring value to as a kind of leader of your tribe produces enough clients each year to run a profitable business. And it really helps to think of all this, guys, if you're flagging, I hope you're not, it helps to think of it as a numbers game. So understanding this change, understanding the idea that this was a numbers game changed a lot for me, like a lot. So for example, first identify how much income you're looking to make each month, right? Ruby, you say you've got a lot of work to do at the end of this. It sounds like quite a lot, and I'll get into how we can kind of break things down. And it's actually, it doesn't require that much time every day, so don't fret. So yeah, first identify how much income you're looking to make each month. This is just an example of how we can turn this into a numbers game. Then you want to determine how many ideal clients you would need to hire you each month to bring that kind of income in. Then you'd want to determine how many people you need to actually engage with in your list each month, week, or day to ensure you hit those numbers. So this takes the whole process out of mystery and darkness and into clarity. You know how many things you need to do each week, each month, each day to turn into a certain number of projects. So in my case, if I wanted to create a certain amount of income and 2 new clients next month, I know that I need to get 8 people on a call that month. And based on the rough percentage of how many people tend to agree to meeting, I'd need to be connecting with a good 40 people in the run up to that month to ensure I can create those 8 calls and ultimately 2 clients. Now, think about it, guys. That's still only one. That's like 1 or 2 people to connect with each day. How long would that take you? And if you want clients today, you will need to have been doing this a while ago. So this, for those who want to kind of get this up and running quickly, yes, there are opportunities for that. Like there's going to be a lot of gold in your current network that you can develop into paying clients. But in general, you want to be doing this stuff several months ago if you want clients today. Make sense? Julietta, you will learn to love numbers, I can tell you. So this list of 150 warm connections is a group of people that will likely evolve over time according to your goals. People can be replaced and swapped out. The key thing is that you regularly engage with everyone in at least the 150 list over time. Be willing to be bold and ensure you follow up, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable. If you have a product or service that you know will delight the world, you would do everything to get it in front of the right people. So as you bring value and familiarity and trust to these key people, you will start to see opportunities arise for discussing ways you can work together on win-win projects. So if you're a creative freelancer, you might find an opportunity arise in a relationship with someone to get on a call to discuss a proposal that leads to a client. Or you may ask someone who they know who needs the skills you provide as a means to create new business based on word of mouth referrals. And this has worked for me several times, particularly after having gotten to know someone either in person or online. For example, creating the job that I got at Google came out of asking a Google worker whether they knew anyone looking for an illustrator. So this is having gotten to know someone and had him in my list, and then seized the opportunity when he, was working with his team at Google to see if they knew anyone. So yes, we do have to be proactive. We have to get into that proactive mindset. And this is what is required of us to make money doing what we love to do. And it doesn't have to be a ton of stuff, a ton of time spent on it. It's just that we don't get taught this stuff at school, and no one goes in this direction. But if we can just keep this up a little bit here and there, especially with the strategy that I use, you'll be flying. So nearly wrapping up this last section. To start adding names to your list, we have several places that we can already source people. You want to start by adding people who already know you. So what I term your power base. So including friends, family, past clients, past employers, mentors, and so on, people that know you. At this point, anyone possesses potential value, don't forget. So because everyone you know could well be connected to someone else who could prove to be a paying client for your work. Over time, as you get more familiar with this, you can start adding warm connections of ideal clients you have created for yourself, in addition to those who've already previously knew you. So to start, we're looking for people who have already responded to you in some way in the past to add to that first list of 150. And they can be found in your email contacts. They can be people you follow up, people who follow you on social media. I'm sure a lot of you have quite a few of those. Facebook connections, people in your address book, your Rolodex, your newsletter subscribers, old school friends, people who service you, provide you services like your barber, people who have paid you money in the past. Get aware, open up that presence to who's around you, and you'll be quite surprised. There are so many people you can start connecting with who could lead to paying clients or referrals or other opportunities. So doing this, as I said, doesn't need to take a massive amount of time. I make sure I spend at least 10 minutes a day developing and honing these connections. And I do this because I genuinely care for those people. I care for the success of my business, and I deeply know my own value. I have to obviously remind myself of it quite a lot, but I know my value, and I know that the world will benefit from that value. And I enjoy the process of being a leader, being a giver. It's a fulfilling, if anything, it's good for the soul, this stuff. So for those of you who are still a little bit muddy on the idea, it can be fun, and it becomes fun when we shift our mindset from, what can I take from people and manipulate someone to buy from me, and change that around, change the mindset from that to how can I help those I consider valuable in my close tribe. So be the tribal leader. Be willing to help someone out, share value, converse with people just because. And what took me a while to truly get was that the tasks involved in running a successful business doesn't always bring immediate results. You have to be okay, guys, with putting in a certain amount of time each day to nurturing your tribe and doing it without expecting anything in return. Shock horror. We don't want to, act needy and clingy around people. We just want to focus on truly serving. And when you can just focus on that, then all the pressure's taken off you. It's like, okay, this is what I do. I'm going to give, I'm going to serve, and I'm not going to expect anything in return, but I'm going to keep my attention on this little tribe here, and you'll find that it starts to bear fruit. It's quite amazing. It's going to get noticed. And what's really cool is that people will often, they'll feel the need to reciprocate. They will want to help. And that's what makes all of this meaningful. So on top of this, you want to regard these relationships through a professional eye. What I mean by this is being aware of those moments that look like you can offer your help. That can open up the next phase of the business relationship. This is why you regularly want to be asking those who know questions that help you be of better service to them. Get a sense for where people are struggling, find challenges in their businesses, that kind of stuff. Ask questions. If the opportunity presents itself, suggest getting on a call if you can, for example, where you will be able to talk through a problem with someone, which could finally lead to a proposal and an effortless sale because your proposal was a clear solution to what they needed. So it's always about looking for problems and seeing and just showing how you can solve that problem and encouraging them through that process, taking the lead. The more you can do to get in front of people, in person or on a call or video, the better, really, because this creates more emotional traction. So for those of you hiding behind your screens, if you can start getting more familiar with getting your voice on audio, getting on a video, getting on a call, that It's not the be all end all. You don't necessarily need to do that, but it's going to help. And many of you are creative professionals, and it's less obvious how to sell your work through a proposal. As a coach, I more often work with, introducing potential clients to a proposal, but as an illustrator, there were few opportunities to present proposals. However, by simply getting in front of enough of the right people over time, and sometimes it would take several months to be front of an ideal client's mind, there will be opportunities for someone to turn to you to ask for help. I'd also encourage you guys to be upfront and regularly ask people how you could help them with your skills. Right? You can also ask people who they know who might need, fill in the blank, an illustrator, a coder, a copywriter, a coach. And many times they come back either with a name and a link up that would lead to a sale, or they may be interested in hiring you themselves. So overall, it's about creating a network of people that you monitor via a spreadsheet or CRM and taking action to be of service. Be creative. Make use of all the tools at your disposal to stay in touch with people and stay front of mind. And don't worry about how clever your communications sound. It's much better to say anything and be seen by someone than for someone who needs to know you to never know you exist. So maintain a positive commitment to your tribe over time. Be a leader. Show that you care. Dedicate some time every day to these people. And you're going to start to see opportunities reveal themselves. So obviously, this isn't the only way to create clients. There are many tools, tricks, and methods you can also look into. But the reason I'm such an enthusiastic backer of this approach is as follows. We're not reinventing the wheel. So relationship building is how people have done business since the start of time. When other tactics stop working and technology shift and change, this simple and age-old approach will always be there. And the real results come after several connections. Bear that in mind as well. Be willing to follow up many times with people. Most of us fail to realize the power of this because we stop before the results show up. So most other people will never do this. Really, just focus on reconnecting. By playing this game and taking a continual interest in the people around you, you're setting yourself apart. And doing this puts you in the driver's seat of your business. You are no longer at the mercy of the economy and your surroundings. You can make anything happen when you bring enough energy to this and you do what it takes to astonish your people with what you can do. You guys still with me? All feeling good? I'm sure many of you are wondering about how to do this without being pushy or annoying. This is a common worry. So if you're coming from a place of being willing to serve out of curiosity and out of genuinely wanting to help others, you shouldn't come across this resistance often at all. Like it's a different ball game when you turn that perspective around. So if you know you have a truly awesome and helpful product, why on earth would you hold back on getting it into the hands of people who need it? Even if you annoy a few people along the way. If you had, so as an example, this is a good one. If you found the cure to some horrifying disease, would you hold back from getting it in front of people if you thought that you might pester someone? Of course you wouldn't. So the same approach applies to your business. You must see it as a duty to serve others and to be served in return by their support and the income that comes from it. So I know this can seem like a lot, guys, especially if this is all relatively new to you. More than anything, it takes a simple commitment to connecting and network nurturing with consistency. We can break down what seems like a mountain into small steps. Now, many of you might be perfectly happy taking this information and running with it by yourself and making it work. I would suggest you first create the spreadsheet for adding your first 50 people as a first step. And you can use the template I share in the secret link I'm about to give you. But others might get it. Others might kind of feel the need to have some support, like everything you've learned here and more will be expanded on in a group I've just set up called Tribal Coaching. So that's an opportunity for some ongoing support. This is your opportunity to join me, guys, in a supportive group of like-minded business owners and creatives for 3 months and 10 90-minute meetings of in-depth support for you to make a success of everything we discussed here today. So you're either feeling good and you're ready to go out there and get it, But if you feel the need to join a group of like-minded, determined creatives and freelancers, this could be a really good opportunity for you. So in this group, we're also going to go well beyond this into all aspects of building a remarkable and profitable business. So it's not just about network building, it's about building the full remarkable business from the ground up. So we have a lot of interest so far in this group, and everyone who's already joined is as committed and dedicated as you are to making your business a success. So the way it works is, Matt's already joined on. Awesome. The way it works is we get together on Zoom each week from October the 28th, 2020 to discuss your challenges. So not long now. And I will be able to talk with you guys direct through video like this or audio. We'll be able to respond to any questions you have via text. And Jennifer C is also joining in with the tribal coaching. Awesome. We're going to be working together to ensure that you have a clear vision and you know exactly what to do to bring in more income with better clients quickly. Though there's going to be many opportunities for me to coach you directly on the call, you're also going to benefit from listening in live as I work through the questions of other members of the group. And you will be able to take many of the challenges that I work through with others and hopefully apply the insights and the solutions that come out of those conversations to your own projects. Simon Sturge, looking forward to it. Awesome. Now might be seen as a challenging time for many, and I know from personal experience how valuable it can be to be part of a close-knit community for direct support and not feel so isolated, not so worried and alone. So if any of what I spoke about today needs further clarity, we can address that directly in the group coaching. Not only that, but if you feel you need a boost in taking action, I will be incorporating various weekly challenges and games that will add extra incentive for you to take the necessary action each week to start seeing momentum quickly with all this. We're going to be playing money games together as a group whereby we each set a target to create a certain amount of money within a time period, and you'll be able to partner up with others to create additional accountability. We'll also be covering other areas, including creating your own action plan for success and discussing how to overcome various mental blocks and resistance that can get in the way of taking action with confidence. So in addition to the 15 hours of support over 3 whole months, you're going to have exclusive access to a private Facebook group that will be running for 6 months from this week that we will all be a part of to give us the opportunity to support each other and make new connections into the longer term. I'm going to be regularly jumping in to help you guys through the group with comments, lessons, videos in there too. And you're also going to have access to the recordings of all the coaching conversations in the group for life. So this kind of direct coaching support from me over this time period is the equivalent to over $8,000 in coaching support. So by joining us in tribal coaching, you can take advantage of this kind of dedicated help for a fraction of the usual price. It's a big opportunity. I know from having my own coaches how powerful a financial investment is to motivating me to act. You know, when there's money on the table, I have skin in the game. If you're willing to make a slightly larger investment, I'd recommend joining me in my Gold Tribal Coaching Group, which is a smaller group of up to 10 of us, where I'll be able to dedicate a lot more attention to you directly. The link is coming. By joining this smaller group, which is already filling up fast, you will have additional access to the 10 meetings in the standard group, as well as the 6-month Facebook group. And we will be working together over 4 months and 12 meetings to ensure you see the most significant transformation. Now, if all this support did was help give you the confidence to know how to go out there and consistently bring in clients and feel good about doing it and grow your own income by yourself, would it be worth it? If all this did was help you feel like you were back in control of your business again, would it be worth it? Don't let another year go by in confusion and distress. I'd say see this as an investment in yourself, in an opportunity that I'm highly unlikely to run again like this again. And I can guarantee you will make many multiples of your investment in the group back by taking action on even a handful of the weekly tasks and fun challenges I'll be setting. So don't take my word for it. Here are some people who've benefited from working with me directly as a business coach in the past. and the benefits they've seen for their businesses. We've got Chris, who talks about how I have a knack for distilling what can feel like big, complicated problems into actions and patterns that I can then control and manage. Got some good words coming through from Tom Ross. Other testimonials. Paul Shipper. Alex always has wise words of wisdom to bestow on those willing to listen. I listened, and with implementing just a few of his suggestions, I got fast and long-lasting results. So you can see people are benefiting directly from my support. We've got Christina, an illustrator who worked with me a while ago, and she shared that working with Alex made a huge difference in my business. Through his coaching, I was able to grow my income and client base, as well as finally accomplishing a personal goal that I'd been postponing for over a year. Alex helped me reframe my thoughts around work and finances, and together we identified what blocks or beliefs were preventing me to achieve more of what I wanted, which is exactly the kind of stuff that I can work through with you guys in the tribal coaching. So, for everything you get in just the standard tribal coaching ticket, including 3 months of direct group coaching support from me personally to help you turbocharge your business, a 6-month Facebook group membership for additional support from me, as well as making connections with like-minded business owners, and all the other tools and recommendations that are going to be included. Many people close to me are telling me that I should price it at $12,000. For 3 months of weekly coaching, my price would be $8,000. Today's price for a gold small group ticket is just $19.97. And the price for a standard coaching ticket is just $597 today. I'm also going to help you out a step further than that. So for live attendees, you guys, if you book your place within the next 30 minutes, you will get a full $100 off either ticket using the discount code TRIBELIVE. If you buy the gold ticket in the next 30 minutes, you will also get a free hour-long one-to-one vision creation meeting with me in addition to the group. And I'm going to reveal both of the links to those tickets in a moment. And if you look at the bottom of the page, if you might need to refresh, you'll be able to see the links, and you'll see the buttons for whichever ticket you feel inclined to join us on. So yeah, make sure you use that code TRIBELIVE, and I genuinely am keeping it up only for 30 minutes. Sorry for you guys who are watching on the replay, you won't be able to access this, but for you guys listening in, this is your opportunity to jump on this and join me in a group of other business owners who are also keen to bring their businesses and lift each other up. And really, really excited to have you join if you choose to join us. Finally, I did mention that I was going to reveal the secret link. Are we good on the page? You should be seeing those buttons if you're interested in jumping in. The secret link is about to be revealed. Hang tight. You should see it pop up on the bottom of the page shortly. And let me know in the chat if you're not seeing any of those. You should be seeing a gold ticket button. You should be seeing a standard ticket button, and you should be seeing the secret link at the bottom. If you're not, let me know. Laura, looks like you can see it. Fantastic. So in the link, this is where you can access the full transcript of everything I've shared in this class, so you can refer to it forever. You can kind of use it as your manual. The page also includes a host of ideas and places you can find ideal clients. I haven't quite added that in yet, but literally within the next 24 hours, I'm going to be adding a nice, juicy, long list of ideas of places to find ideal clients. And we are already well into over an hour. So I've got, yeah, as I said, so the buttons are open. The cart is open. The tickets are going to be available for another 7 days, closing on the 19th of October. And yeah, you might need to refresh the page, guys. Awesome. So, but as I said, 30 minutes from literally now, those discounts are going to be gone. So you want to look into that, because this is really the opportunity of the year, if not beyond, guys. I'm not kidding, because I'm probably not going to be doing something like this for a good long while. Vicky's World, where will this list be? Yes, the list is actually inside the secret link that should be at the bottom of the page where the stream is. There's a couple of buttons to navigate through, and you'll find a link to the template of this list. The transcript will also be in the link, guys. So there's no you should see that link. It's at the bottom of the page. Yes, so we can move now into Q&As. If you guys have still got the resilience to stick around, and if you've got some burning questions, I'm happy to open the forum now and respond to you guys. Yeah, I think people are finding it. Some are not. Mike, you'll see all the details for the prices when you click through those buttons at the bottom of the page that you should be seeing this on. And yeah, hopefully some of you want to jump on those tickets and join us. It's going to be awesome. I guarantee you're going to get a ton out of it. And as I said, see it as an investment in yourself, in your business, in your life. This is a skill that is going to be useful for life. The stuff that we go into in the coaching group, it's going to be 15 hours, ton of value, Facebook group. And I recommend, if you can join the gold group for a smaller, more intimate group, you're going to get more direct attention from me as well. Some issues with browsers and so on. I hope things are okay with you guys. I think I've done everything I can to make sure those buttons have revealed themselves and the link is there as well. Any case, I know that time is of the essence, guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to share them in the text. And for the next 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to be happy to respond to those questions. Yeah, JP Roberts, if you are watching via YouTube, the links are not there. You're going to need to go to the main site for the link. So if you guys receive that link through registering, you should be able to find the link through there. And otherwise, the buttons you'll also find on alexmathers.net/tribal coaching. You'll find the buttons in there that you can purchase your spot through, and you can also apply the discount code TRIBELIVE as you go through there. So we've got some questions coming through. I'm not sure I can move fast enough here. Let's see. Things are moving quick. Vicky's World, I've got a lovely long list, but I have two problems. Most past clients' warm leads never seem to have any work for me, although we have nice chats. The others never reply to my emails. There's a few things going on in there. Yeah, it could be that you're including people in your list who are not a suitable fit in terms of the stuff that you can provide for them, or you haven't allowed that relationship to stay running for long enough so that when they do have something that falls on their lap, you will be front of mind at that point, and you will be the first person that they will return to with that suggestion for work. So yeah, it can be frustrating when people don't respond. And this is just a part of this process. There will be people who will not respond to you. There will be people who will not reply, and you need to think of the nature of how this stuff tends to work, and it can be quite surprising in terms of numbers of follow-up. So there's a quote lying around somewhere about how many times people tend to need to follow up with someone before they're willing to buy, before they're willing to pay for a product, and it's something like 7 to 12 contacts. So if we're expecting someone to be interested and want to work with us within the first 2 or 3 emails, and they don't respond or they're not interested, don't worry. Just keep them in the network, keep them active, and keep responding for a good few goes. This is a long-term game, and if they themselves don't have the job for you, then be professionally aware, as I said, and seize a moment to ask them whether they know anyone who might be able to help, especially if they've been receiving value from you, if they've received your kind of presence and your determination to stay with them in that relationship. They're going to want to help. Right. Thank you, Kerry. Appreciate that. Right, JP, I work at an ad agency during the day, really wanting to grow my freelance business to be my full-time gig. Do you have any advice for growing the list and business outside of normal working hours? I think it's a case, if you're looking to build that client list and add people to the list that I talked about, it doesn't need to take forever. It doesn't need to take a huge amount of time at all. I would definitely view this in the context of a long-term thing. I know that you want to, change things up quickly, but there's quite a lot you can get done in 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. There's a ton of networking that I do, and DMing and just connecting with people, just, sitting on the bog, or just when I've just sitting on the bus type thing, just little snatched moments here and there that you can take advantage of. And that's the beauty of our smartphones. We can actually do a lot of connecting over a minute here, 5 minutes there, whatever it takes to keep people in the loop. And all of this stuff can sit on your phone, so that helps. But in terms of finding it, I gather that was the question. If it was about like, how do I find time? You've got to find that. You've got to find that commitment, and you really got to go back to the first two pieces of what we talked about, which is, what's my value? Why do I love what I do? Why do I know that I'm valuable? And who do I need to take this to? Who needs to hear about this from me? And that also reminds me of what Vicky said. If you're not seeing that kind of traction, that kind of response, you may need to go back into the first two areas and think, okay, what can I really fine tune that's going to be it's going to delight potential clients so that they're going to want to respond, they're going to be interested. How can you create something that's really, really specialized and really unique? What else have we got here? Yeah, Mike, that's a bit. We're all still go here. We're all still live. Sometimes it feels like things have perhaps been cut off, but we're all good. Other questions? Thank you. Appreciate you guys having stuck around and enjoyed that, I hope. There will be a replay of this for a few more days if you guys want to kind of reabsorb some of the key ideas. Nice one, Thomas. Looking forward to working with you soon, and looking forward to those of you who've decided to jump onto the tribal coaching today. It's gonna be awesome to work with you guys. Thanks, Julieta. Thanks, everybody. If there are any other burning questions, I'm going to be here for a couple more minutes, but otherwise, I'm going to let you guys go. I know that there was a lot to take in today, and I really dove pretty deep on some topics, and ultimately it is pretty straightforward. It does sound very complicated, but it's just a case of just staying conscious, staying aware, and looking at, what are the next steps. And as I say, the next key step that I would suggest you guys do, if you don't do anything at all, is just to create that first 50, like create that spreadsheet for 50 people, and start getting excited about who you could start adding to those lists. And don't forget to see this. It's not to see this as a chore, as like, oh God, do I have to do this? Like, I want to just focus on my art. No, focus on, like, in order to be able to create art and not to be worried about money, you want to see this as like a full package. This is everything in what you do. The networking, the giving, the serving, the nurturing your network as a tribal leader. This is all part of the same package. This is what it takes really to see traction and to see success in this. It's like the networking is part of it. Thank you, Sally. Looking forward to the tribal coaching with you too. Bye. Brenda, thank you so much. Looking forward to working with you directly. Yeah, Renee, you should find the link to the spreadsheet template through that secret link that should have appeared at the bottom of the page. And if not, feel free, any of you guys, to contact me directly. I respond to all my emails. Carolina, it's been a pleasure. If there are any other questions, Hannah, you just bought a couple of my books. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, eager, Arvind, to work with you in the tribe. It's going to be awesome. Remember, guys, 3 months for the standard ticket. And if you join the smaller group, gold ticket, you're going to get all of what you get in the standard. And you're also going to get 12 meetings over 4 months. So a ton of support. You're going to meet some fantastic people. Don't forget that there's also this Facebook group that you guys can all interact through and help each other out and find accountability partners through. Thank you, Lo. I appreciate that. I'm losing my voice. That was a lot of talking, guys. My goodness. Yes, Tom, if I have a few different interests, potential routes of business, how do I clarify which one suits me best? Good question. I am all for experimentation and having fun with working in a variety of fields and exploring and playing and having fun and trying different things out. I do the same. But when it comes to creating clients, if you have if you said to yourself, this is what I want to do to make a living, you're going to have to get clear about how you're going to take that skill, make someone aware of it, and encourage them to want to pay you for it, right? And that is effectively what marketing is. And marketing is best done when it's clear as day to the potential client what it is you do, and you don't muddy things too much. So you can, in theory, have several websites and several brands and do lots of things, but that takes a lot of work. And it's a lot easier to have a very narrow product, a narrow service, a narrow client, at least in a particular given phase of what you're doing, and to be as streamlined with that as you can. So when it comes to marketing, when it comes to the website and stuff, you might just want to have one website or one page that kind of is the flagship for one particular service that you provide, and you might have like others hidden away on other pages. But do what you can to find that balance, I guess, as well. Like if you want to have a varied life, fantastic. But do know that it's going to water down the clarity of your marketing if you throw in too much into the pot. Hope that made sense. The name of the Facebook group is, I don't know yet. It's going to be part of the tribal coaching. So if you do join one of our groups through the buttons at the bottom of this page and you make the investment, you'll be able to access that private group and it'll be going for 6 months. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that support. It was great to talk to you the other day as well, by the way. Alan, thank you, man. Matt would love to work on Star Wars in some way. Go there, absolutely. Whatever inspires you, get a list together of some of the people that are linked to Star Wars, get them down on paper, make it real, bring your attention to it. Remember what I said about bringing attention to your network, to your list. Suddenly makes it become real. It makes it expand. It makes things start to happen. Thanks, Tom. See you, Simon, in the tribe. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Bernard. I really hope that helped. And I'm going to sign out in a minute. Again, I will be accessible via email. I'm probably going to have a good long sleep in a moment. But it was an absolute pleasure, guys. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. I am going to log out and hope that the thing saved. And it's been fantastic. Thank you, guys. See you soon. Bye for now.